You have dogs with eye problems, deafness, a lot of genetic defects, hip dysplasia, luxating patellas, you name it, and these dogs are going to have it. Because they're not selecting the breed stock, again, on the best disposition or temperament or genetics or pedigree. They're looking for the cheapest dog available that will produce puppies, nothing else.
Sally and Tara's eye problems may be genetic too. All 3 dogs will be scheduled for surgery soon to treat their eyes.
There we go. Come on.
Limestone Kennel was part of a complex industry that is, in theory, closely regulated. Large-scale commercial kennels sometimes sell puppies direct to pet stores, but usually they sell to a broker who sells on to a pet store. Kennels that sell wholesale like this are subject to the Federal Animal Welfare Act and are licensed and inspected by the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
But the USDA requirements are bare minimum, and in fact the law even states the word minimum requirements. And so just basic food and water is supposed to be clean and supposed to give them comfort from the bad weather, extremes of temperature. And that's basically it. I refer to those standards as survival standards. If you follow USDA standards, will a dog survive? Probably yes. But is it humane? Absolutely not.
The Pennsylvania Professional Dog Breeders Association represents around 500 kennels, the majority being large commercial breeding facilities. These photographs show some of the association members' USDA licensed kennels and conditions they regard as good. Breeding dogs this way is completely legal. But critics argue that even the best-run facilities are unacceptable, let alone the ones that are substandard.
It's like comparing a dirty prison to a clean prison, or a well-run prison. It's still a prison. The dogs are still in a prison.
You're talking about housing dogs in cages that are no more than 6 inches longer than they are.
That's the amount of space that these animals are allowed.
They have these wire flooring with the hopes that the excrement will fall through the wire and they never have to clean the cages. Well, the fact of the matter is, it doesn't fall through, so it's a mess. Even when you follow USDA guidelines, you're just talking about just bare minimum standards.
The challenge really here comes down to the point that just because it's legal doesn't mean it's okay.
Pennsylvania is sometimes described as the puppy mill capital of the East. On October 1st, 2008, the PSPCA raided Almost Heaven, a large-scale commercial dog breeding kennel in Lehigh County, north of Philadelphia. It was home to nearly 600 dogs and a number of other animals. The raid followed months of undercover investigation. Dogs removed from the kennel were photographed back at the PSPCA. Their condition, testimony to what the agents saw.
The place was totally filthy inside. The runs, a lot of them looked like they hadn't been cleaned in weeks, in some cases months. A lot of the animals were sick, some of them were injured.
Disturbingly, just 8 weeks earlier, the kennel had been inspected by the Pennsylvania Bureau of Dog Law Enforcement and had been given the seal of approval. It was only after the PSPCA raid that the Bureau revoked the kennel license for 2008. For Howard Nelson, it was another example of a recurring issue.
Many kennels, including Limestone and Almost Heaven, that we raided with the Pennsylvania SPCA received high marks from the Bureau of Dog Law and the wardens who investigated them year after year, and there's no question those kennels were not acceptable.